this is Andy Richardson for HPP News, and today we've come to a very special shop in Hyde, and everybody might know it. It's now known as the Music Man, and it was formed with the Music Box, but I'm going to let you, the main man, and with Bill Drain now, who's had the shop for 43 years, and I'm going to have a little chat with Bill about a little bit of the history, about how the shop came about, and also how important the work he does in the music industry. Hi Bill.
Hi Andrew.
First of all, thank you very much for talking to us, and it's always been, you know, a feature on the landscape of Hyde. Oh, very timely there. It just shows how busy Bill is. The phones are probably going off constantly. So, do you need to get that call?
I don't.
Oh no, there we go. All right. Well, hopefully somebody will. So, Bill, just tell us a little bit about your background. And you've been in music since you were 13 years old, haven't you? So over 50 years now. So, Bill, tell us a little bit about how you got started in the music business, because it was from about 13 years age, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Over 50 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, when I was 13, I was having clarinet and saxophone lessons, and the man that was teaching me was also a repairer, and he used to go mad about the prices shops charged for repairs that he'd done. So he said to me, "You'd better learn how to repair your own instruments." So I did. So I used to spend time going over to see him. I had a lesson on a Saturday morning. After the lesson, I'd spend the afternoon with him in his workshop. I'd spend time over the summer holidays. So over the next 3-4 years, he taught me how to repair woodwind instruments and do basic string instruments. And he then put me in touch with quite a well-known violin maker called Gerald Littlewood, who had been the head of music at Chetham's. And then he taught me to do some more string repairs so that I could cover brass, woodwind and string instruments. When I was 17, unfortunately the teacher died, but left me his small business. So that set me up with a very small repair business, working for about 10 shops. And he also left me his seat working in the circus band at Bellevue Circus.
Wow.
So I became a semi-professional musician as well as an instrument repairer. I was going to go into accountancy because I'd gone to college to do accountancy, and I did 12 months in accountancy and decided I didn't like it. I much preferred playing out in the bands at night and doing the repairs, so I decided to try and make a living at it to see what we could do. So I'd be 18 when I was self-employed, and I was teaching. I used to teach for a music shop in Hyde that was called Aldridge's, so I used to teach saxophone and woodwind.
That'd be David Aldridge,
David
the
Aldridge.
pianos.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad actually did some work for David. He used to do electrical work for him.
Well, I used to do David's woodwind repairs, and I used to teach woodwind instruments for Joyce in the music school that I had. And then I got myself my own workshop and studio, which was in the old Andrews Plumbers building, which had just become Super Seconds behind Hyde Market.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I used to started off there, so I was there for about 4 years, through to about 1982, when I was getting married, and we were looking for a house, which we put a deposit on a house round the corner. And at that time this shop came empty, and we decided to try and make a go of it as a shop. So instead of buying the house, we got the deposit back and we purchased the shop instead.
So for anybody with wrong memories and that, what was the shop before? Who did you buy the premises off? Or?
It was originally, just before we bought it, it was Irene Morris's dress shop, and she also had a ladies' underwear shop as well. So she shut one of the shops, so we purchased 174 First, which we had for 18 months, 2 years. And then as the family expanded, the bedroom upstairs wasn't big enough, we needed a bigger premises. So we then purchased the shop next door and knocked through so that we had plenty of living accommodation upstairs.
Right.
So
what are the? Was it still like a dress and laundry place next door when you was in 174?
yeah, when we were in 174, it was still a dress shop. Yeah, in 176 was still a dress shop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she was retiring, and we just decided to take the chance, and we expanded through on the shop, which was great. I had a workshop upstairs, and it went from there. And then we started our musical adventures from there. I was also playing semi-professionally on the saxophone. I used to play for in rock and roll bands. I used to play in the pits for some of the shows in theatres. I used to do show work.
So what sort of theatres did you do? Stuff at the Theatre Royal in Hyde?
Done Theatre Royal, Oldham Coliseum, the Tameside Theatre, quite a few of the bigger theatres. I played in the pits there.
Right.
Played in Blackpool. Played all over. And then from there I went into the rock and roll circuit, and I was playing in numerous rock and roll bands all over the country. And I joined up, there was a show at the time called The Way It Was, which featured the likes of Screaming Lord Sutch, Jess Conrad, Wee Willie Harris, Hines, Johnny Bruce, and a few others. And so those singers were all backed by the same band, and I used to play the sax for the band, so I played for all those people for many years.
Yeah. Did you ever get to appear on TV at all, or?
No, we didn't do the TV shows. The TV shows have tended to be done by the TV companies' own bands.
Right.
So at the time I was playing with them, a couple of them did shows on the TV, but the band weren't required.
Right. Understood.
So it was one of those. It was. But yeah, so that was great. I spent many years, had some fabulous times all over the country, but mainly my work was here.
Yeah.
And so we built the repair business, and I became better known for the repairs. The work came from further afield. In the 1980s, I was working for quite a few shops, and in the end it went up to, I was working for about 20-25 shops all over the country.
And as well as shops and that, I believe even today you do like work with schools, so school bands and that. So have you always done that, or is that something?
Yeah, it's something we've always done for many years, and it's changed slightly this last 6 months. But till 6 months ago, I was working for 5-6 authorities, education authorities throughout the country. I was doing all Blackpool's work and lots of other authorities, Tameside, Rochdale's, Oldham's, but there's been changes in funding from the Arts Council, and there's been changes in the political makeup of Lancashire, so that's affected the Blackpool side of it. So
Right.
So that's sort of put a dampener on that.
Yeah, I suppose though that's things that probably ebbs and flows,
Yes,
is it? So
yes, it is, because a lot of the schools in this last year have been given new grants to buy new instruments, which means that in the first year they haven't been given any money for repairs, because they're spending the money on new instruments.
Yeah.
Come next year, they'll start needing all the new instruments will be getting broken, so they'll be needing them repaired. So we'll be back.
Yeah.
So it does. It ebbs and flows.
Yeah, that's good. Just as well, just to bring up, you've a very strong connection to the Cook family that own the Children's Roundabout on Hyde Market Square.
Yeah.
You know, a fantastic feature for the town for over 100 years. Just tell us a little bit about the background of that and how you're involved in the family in that respect.
Right, well, my mother is a cook. So
That's the family name, Cook, and not not does all the cooking.
no, that's the family name. So the roundabouts was first started by my great granddad Greaves after he came back from the First World War, and then it's been passed down in the family. And then after my grandmother died, it was left between Gordon Senior and my mother. Although Gordon's family, the people at the side of the family actually run it.
Yeah.
So I spent, from when I was about 10, I used to spend time working on the roundabouts, as have most of the members of my family at some stage in their lives. So it's always been a very family orientated business, and we always used to do that. And Gordon Senior used to be on the fairgrounds as well, and I used to go helping him on the fairgrounds, because he has another set of roundabouts, virtually the same as the ones on the market, that he used to tour with on the fairgrounds. So I used to help him with those.
So how many roundabouts did he have? Did he have the one on the market and then one he toured with?
Yeah, and we also used to have one on Ashton Market.
Oh right, okay.
So the family used to have one on Ashton Market, but that one was sold off by my grandfather many years ago.
Right.
So I think they've still got two. I think there's one set that's in store somewhere, and there's the set that's on Hyde Market.
Yeah.
And it's so sad now for young Gordon that runs it, because with Hyde Market having been decimated, the business for the roundabouts is virtually, well, I wonder how long he'll keep it going.
Yeah, no, I often have conversations with Gordon Jr. and everything, and I can see how disheartening it is for him, that, because, like you say, football is definitely not what it used to be, and unfortunately, like people, all the attention seems to be attracting people into the mall and not actually out on the market square. And
but it's the same. I mean, it's the same here with the shop. Footfall's changed tremendously, and where we used to be very, very busy. If I go back 20 years, I used to have 5-6 staff in here on a Saturday, and we used to be up from 9 till 6, and we were busy all day long. And now one person could manage it on his own on very reduced hours, and the footfall is what we miss. People supporting the local businesses.
So the voice in the background you can hear at the moment, that's Eric that works with you in the shop. He looks after the shop, doesn't he?
Eric he looks after the shop, he looks after the customers that come in, and his customer service is absolutely superb. So the warning is, if you come in here and you speak to Eric, you're probably going to go out having bought something.
Probably an hour or two later as well. So as well as Eric, I believe there's another gentleman that comes in and does repairs on the brass instruments.
Yeah, I have because I've worked for a lot of people over the years, and I used to work for a lot of other repair firms doing their woodwind and strings. I got quite friendly with others, and I was particularly friendly with a guy called Keith Preston, who is a brass repairer, and probably about 15 years ago the firm Keith worked for closed down. So I offered him a bench here so that he could come and help me. So he comes in periodically. When I need him, he'll come in and give me a lift. Yeah. I mean, the repair business is what keeps us going, and lots of people drive past this little shop on Market Street and haven't got a clue what there is behind the facade or what we do. And it's like in the 90s, I was doing the woodwind repairs and a lot of the percussion for all the British Army bands. So a friend of mine had a contract for all the armed forces, and he had the work delivered every Monday from Neller Hall to his workshop, and then I used to pick up the woodwind and fetch it here, and that was we had when we first got the contract. I said to him he didn't know what he'd done, because we had 28 days from it coming in to it having to be out, and everything had to be rebuilt, so it was like brand spanking new, and that could involve re-lacquering it, replating it, totally rebuilding, restoring everything to as new standard. And I was smiling to myself last weekend with it being Remembrance Day, because I can remember the Remembrance Day. I always used to watch the Saturday night at the Royal Albert Hall, from being a very young boy, because I used to sit with my granddad and watch it when he'd been come home from the roundabouts. I used to watch it there. Anyway, I was sitting thinking last Saturday night, maybe in the mid-90s was one Remembrance Day, and we were sat watching it, and all these instruments are coming on the stage, and my wife said to me, "Haven't you just repaired that?" And by the time they were all on stage, it turned out we'd had the whole of the stage had all just been through the workshops in preparation for making its appearance at the Albert Hall. So for many years we actually were doing, there were 45 army bands, and then they've cut them and cut them and cut them and cut them. I think there's 20 something now, and whereas there used to be proper military bands, they've made them now mainly brass bands.
Right.
So there's been big changes there. So it's always like anything, there's always changes in the music industry.
Just one other thing, obviously you've got a lot of youngsters. We mentioned the schools before, but sometimes parents will have a youngster and they show an interest in a particular instrument. Are you able to arrange sort of lessons? Do you have a network of people that you can send them to?
For many years we had our own music school, and up till COVID we had 225 pupils a week, and we had 2 drum teachers, 3 saxophone teachers, flute teacher, 3 piano teachers. We had teachers covering absolutely everything, and that was up till the start of COVID. And because of what happened then after COVID, the music school had dropped from 225 to 5.
Wow.
We lost 220 pupils. Part of it was that we had some of the teachers retired, some of them stopped wanting to travel to teach here. And they didn't want to start having to try advertising again to start rebuilding it back up. A couple of the teachers that we have, the problem we had after COVID was that our studios really weren't that big. So we decided that because of the size of them and the risk to health, we would limit ourselves to 2 studios. So it meant that we haven't looked to replace the teachers that left, but what we now do is we have a list of teachers, so some of which are our former teachers. So if anybody wants lessons, we can actually pass them on to good teachers.
Yeah. So if they dropped in to see you and
talk
to Eric,
they'll talk to Eric. They'll go out with a phone number to somebody that we can recommend, and they'll go away. One of our guitar teachers actually taught a lot of the other guitar teachers that I'm teaching. So, and over the years, it's been the same. We've had some fabulous pupils that have come through. I used to teach 20 pupils a week on saxophone. 3 that I can think of my sax pupils then went on to become sax teachers in their own right. So over the years, our ethos here has always been on helping people to further their careers and to get enjoyment from music, because there's so many advantages to music that people aren't aware about. I had a meeting with Jonathan Reynolds a few weeks ago, and we were talking about how good music is for mental health. And with a lot of the mental health situations that are arising, especially in the younger people now in their early 20s, I was saying that I think if they track it back, it will correspond to when the last government stopped music education in schools, because they tried their best to abolish it, whereas the new government are trying to recreate music education because they can see the benefits for mental health and for your welfare and for social life, because so many people now sit at home talking on phones and they never get out. But when you play an instrument, you play your instrument with a group of friends.
Yeah, and it's not only that, because if you don't have the people that are actually sort of playing the music, there's nowhere for people to go to actually listen to live music, is there?
No, that is a big concern I have at the moment, because the number of venues that actually provide live music now is going down and down and down and down. And when I was playing out with the bands, we used to do 4 gigs a week, and we could do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights every week, and the venues just aren't there. The working men's clubs aren't there. The social clubs aren't there.
And the pubs.
And what's now happening is that whereas you could go out and earn a reasonable amount of money playing in a band in a pub, now the pubs will just say, well, we'll give you 100 quid. We've got a list of people as long as your arm, all begging us for a gig. So it's now become something that is very hard to actually earn a living at as a working musician. But it's something that I would still say to people, you'll get a lot of enjoyment from it. And it's very good for mental health and for social life, and it gets you talking to people.
Just one last thing before we finish off, and that, notice your t-shirt, and that if I can't fix it, then it's definitely broken. So that's obviously, if somebody's got something at home lying around and that, so just bring it into the shop, let Bill and let Bill have a look at it for you, and he'll give you an opinion on whether or not it's worth actually getting it repaired or just taking it down to the tip. So thank you so much for talking to us today, Bill.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, Andrew.
Honestly, you're a Hyde legend, and we've lost so much in Hyde, and it's fantastic that you've come through it all and you're still here and thriving. And hopefully for a few more years to come. No, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
This has been Andy Richardson with Bill Drain for HPP News.